In other news now, 13-year-old Enock Mpianzi will be laid to rest today. Parktown Boys High School pupil drowned at Nyati Riverbreak in the northwest during a school orientation camp there last month. Now his body was found 2 days late in the Crocodile River. That after the boys at the camp had taken part in a water activity. ENCA reporter Sindile Masekane joins us now live from the Kensington Secondary School where Mpianzi's funeral will be held. Slee, thanks so much for joining us. I have the program for the funeral in front of me, and in it was included a poem entitled Our Family Chain, and at the end it says, "Our family chain is broken and nothing seems the same, but as God calls us one by one, the chain will link again." It's expected to be a very, very tragic and sad day for that family.
Certainly, 2 weeks later, since the tragedy of Enock Mpianzi losing his life at a school orientation camp, his family can finally now lay him to rest. Earlier this week, we did have a memorial service for the young man at Parktown Boys High. He was only a student there for a few days before this tragedy, and of course, at that memorial service, we saw emotions really running high. We saw how the family is still trying to come to terms with his death. It's still very painful for the family, as well as the pupils at Parktown Boys High, and especially the pupils at Brixton Primary School, which is his primary school family that had also come out to that memorial service. It is expected to be a very sad day. We understand that the Gauteng Education Department did assist with funeral arrangements. The MEC won't be present today, but the head of department will be among the guests here at Kensington Secondary School. We did have a chance to speak to Enock's uncle this morning around the funeral arrangements. Let's just take a listen to what he had to say.
The Department of Education has provided transport. So from 8, a big bus, there's a metro bus. One of them will be parked here, waiting for people to get in the community, and some family members will be let. Then from here, everybody is going to the hall at Kensington Secondary School. That's in Cumberland, corner Protea Street in Kensington. Is where we are going to be waiting for the body to come from Bramfontein by the undertaker of the funeral services. So there we will be starting the worship and the praise service from 9 to 10:45. After that, we will head to West Park Cemetery in Montgomery Park, where we will lie Enock on a prepared resting place.
Now, Slee, as the family will, of course, today focus on laying the 13-year-old son of their family, nephew of the family, to rest today, questions still very much remain about the circumstances leading up to his untimely death.
Certainly. Even though the family is laying Enock to rest today, there are still many unanswered questions, Marcel, around what happened on that fateful day of the 15th of January. We know that there are still many questions around why it took so long to report Enock was missing, a lot of issues around the safety measures and precautions that were taken at that particular camp. We know that there was a water activity, and from what we hear from some of the boys that have come forward, that have spoken to some of my colleagues, is that there were no life jackets provided in these water activities where Enock unfortunately drowned in the Crocodile River. And we also know that it's not the first time this has happened at that particular river where a child has lost their lives in that river. We know that at least 5 children have lost their lives in that particular river, and the Gauteng Education Department has, of course, they have instituted an independent investigation that's being run by an independent firm around the circumstances leading up to Enock's death. We know that so far the principal of Parktown Boys High has been suspended, as well as a district official, because the measures or what was supposed to take place before the approval of the camp did not take place. Camps such as this one are supposed to be approved by the district officers at least 3 months in advance, and we know that those processes didn't take place. We also understand that since this death, the Gauteng Education Department has now also instituted its own measures by ensuring that any camp or water activity that's going to take place at a school must now be approved by the department or head office itself. So we are still waiting for that independent probe to come back with a report. We understand that more heads are still supposed to roll in this matter, and there's still more people that are going to be held accountable. We also know that the police are also busy with their own investigations.
Slindile Masekane reporting to us live there from Kensington Secondary School, where Enock Mpianzi's funeral will be held this morning and throughout the day. We'll continue to keep an eye on what's expected to be a very, very sad day for the family and everybody involved.